From marvelous Miami, Florida, home of Super Bowl 44 and the site of our sports scarring moment today, the Tracy Porter Pick Six. It's early 2010. Kesha is dominating the airwaves and Peyton Manning's Colts look like they're on their way to their second ring in 5 years, favored by a whole 5 points to do so. But on the other side were the soon-to-be team of destiny New Orleans Saints, fueled by a passionate fan base and the power of friendship, fresh off of knocking another Hall of Fame quarterback off their perch while being led by their own. But none of them are the hero of this story. A second-year corner from Port Allen, Louisiana put on his cape, and well, I'll let Coach Superfan Profan Logan tell y'all the rest of the story. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, but most importantly, enjoy this week's episode of
Manning in the shotgun puts Collie in motion.
I hate even going back to that moment. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like I hate it.
Looks in his direction. It's picked off.
There's no way. There's no way this is happening again.
He's running free. He's gonna go all the way.
It was really frustrating, I would say, those first few seasons as a young Colts fan until he did get over the hump, because you had only the regular season to go based off of, right? And at the end of the day, everybody knows once you hit the playoffs, that's when it really matters. And it was hard to defend him, honestly. It started to get really hard to defend him, and it started to almost feel like a curse.
But of all Peyton's playoff failures, there was a commonly reoccurring obstacle: the Tom Brady and Bill Belichick-led New England Patriots.
Definitely a ton of the New England heartbreaks, right? Like, obviously, those all 100% stand out. I swear on anyone, I hated Tom Brady more than anyone. I was the biggest Tom Brady hater. I literally hated that man's guts because he ripped my heart out of my chest, it seemed like, every single playoffs. I was still hopeful, right? It's like you got Peyton Manning. He had shown that he was good in that 2-minute drill in the regular season. But I was like, can he finally get it done this one time for all the marbles? Here we go. If you're a Colts fan, everyone remembers the phrase, Marlins got it. We're going to the Super Bowl. Like that's the line that sticks out in my head. And seeing the camera pan over onto Peyton Manning, who was like literally praying on the sidelines. He's like, dear God, please, this one time, please let me beat Tom Brady. Yeah, man, that was definitely a peak moment in my NFL fandom, in my Colts fandom. I remember running outside and we had air horns, actually, and we were running around my neighborhood with some of the other neighborhood kids, you know, Colts jerseys on and all, just absolutely blast on the air horns. And there were cars honking in the streets and stuff. So it was absolutely amazing. They're down 21-6, and it's looking very grim, just absolutely grim. And that was one of probably the second or third only time that I cried. I was literally crying tears at halftime, man, in my living room, watching with my family and some friends. And I was so defeated, man. I was like, oh my God, we get all the way here again just to lose to Tom Brady and the New England Patriots. But as you know, history, thankfully shined great on the Colts that day.
Hearing that level of joy after overcoming your longtime bully made me think, did the win over the Patriots in 2006 mean more to Colts fan than actually winning the Super Bowl?
I think you are 100% right. I look back at that. It's kind of like this. Like, obviously, the win in the Super Bowl is going to be remembered because it's a Super Bowl win, right? But at the end of the day, if you ask any Colts fan what the greatest game in Colts franchise history is, it's, I would say, almost 99% of the time that you ask a Colts fan that, they're going to say the AFC Championship game when the Colts beat the Patriots to advance to the Super Bowl. And so I do feel like that Super Bowl win, while it was beautiful and it was sweet and it was amazing, almost just the fact of getting there was just pure elation. And I think a lot of Colts fans would say that was actually more important sometimes of a game than the Super Bowl itself. I do think he put the playoff choker criticism to rest. I think, again, like going through the gauntlet that he did and having to beat Tom Brady, right? The GOAT, right? The best quarterback in NFL history, one of the most clutch players of all time. So him beating him to get to the Super Bowl and then winning a Super Bowl, I do feel like it really, media-wise, I remember around that time, it did feel like the monkey was sort of lifted off of his back.
So with one monkey off his back, Peyton's in the clear, right? Well, a few years later, a new challenger emerged with another Hall of Fame quarterback in Peyton's era. Enter Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints.
I looked at the Saints going into that Super Bowl. I'll be honest, I was overlooking them, and I think a lot of Colts fans were too. I was overlooking them. I did not think that they really deserved to be there. I wasn't taking them seriously. I thought it was kind of just one of those fluke seasons where it's like it's just their time.
But there was a moment to start that second half that solidified that the Saints weren't only deserving, but they were there to win in a real way with only one play.
Everything changed. The entire trajectory of Peyton Manning's career, the entire trajectory of the Indianapolis Colts all changed on that onside kick to start the second half of Super Bowl 44. That onside kick was unbelievable. It felt like I was in a fever dream. Honestly, it really did. I was like, this man, Sean Payton, really decided to come out in the second half and kick an onside kick? But everything changed, man. You could really, I remember feeling something inside me that was just like, oh no. I feel like the momentum just shifted or something. It just felt weird. It felt bigger than just an onside kick recovered. It felt bigger than that. It felt like the tides of an entire season and an entire franchise had just shifted completely.
And after that tide shifted, one man made one play that sent waves through the Colts organization and all of NFL history.
I hate even going back to that moment. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like, I hate it. I hate going back to that moment because it brings back just a lot of what ifs and a lot of what could have been different, right? And I hate going down that path, but I just remember thinking, there's no way. There's no way this is happening again. There's no way our hearts are being ripped out once again right in front of us. And I crashed out, honestly, man. I'll be honest. Like, I couldn't even watch the full play. Like I knew it was pretty obvious from the very second that he jumped the route, Tracy Porter. It's pretty obvious he was taking it to the house. I mean, there was nobody in his way. And I couldn't. I left the room for a little bit to try to clear my head. I was crashing out, man. I was pissed. Absolutely pissed, absolutely depressed and shocked and all the emotions that you can think of. Once it really set in, it was like actual sadness, like genuine depression, genuine sadness of, I cannot believe we are here again. I can genuinely play back the play in my head like it was yesterday. Like, I remember, like, literally that, like, basically Reggie Wayne was on lined up on the left side. He ran, maybe like a 10-yard in and just like sat down on the route, and he didn't even have his head turned around yet. His head wasn't even turned back to the ball yet. And that ball was already out. And Tracy Porter, he was 2 or 3 steps ahead of Reggie Wayne by the time he caught the ball. It was over. As soon as Peyton threw it, it was over. He is forever etched in history, especially if you are a Colts fan in Colts history. The name Tracy Porter, I can guarantee you, if you say the name Tracy Porter you'll see other Colts fans have that same reaction, like, I don't even want to think about it, man. I don't even want to go back to that. It's a very like genuinely hurtful play and hurtful memory in my Colts fandom. And to make matters even worse, a lot of people forget this. Tracy Porter he played his college football at IU. He's a guy who has ties to Indiana, man. And so it's like, it's just full circle, man. The guy who plays his college football at IU picks off Peyton Manning to rip out the Colts' hearts, and for all intents and purposes, kind of signaled the decline of Peyton Manning's career in Indianapolis.
About a season and a half later, Peyton Manning missed the entire season with a potentially career-ending neck injury. And like any time missing the quarterback their team is literally built around, the Colts were the worst team in football. But that landed them in a spot to draft one of the greatest quarterback prospects ever, Andrew Luck, which caused a rift in the fan base. Do we move on with Luck, or do we trade the pick and ride it out with Peyton? Which side did Logan fall on?
I was definitely on the keep Peyton Manning side. I think it was hard not to be. I even wanted them to somehow, some way, if they could make it work where they could draft Andrew Luck and still keep Peyton. So do a situation like the Packers did. There was definitely something going on behind the scenes, and I would have loved to be able to hear those conversations between Peyton Manning and the Colts front office of, hey, we want to draft Andrew Luck. Like, how do you feel about that? How are you feeling with your injury? Maybe someday they'll come out and we'll figure out that there were some rifts there or something had happened or something was said. But yeah, it does seem very odd that they didn't try to go that route.
But was it possible for a Colts fan to still root for their GOAT after he left their franchise?
That is a hot button topic, my friend. So here's the thing. I was able to root for Peyton in Denver at times and in moments. Crazy enough, the season when he went against Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers, that year I actually was kind of vengefully kind of like, you know what? Peyton left. I don't care. I don't care if he loses in the Super Bowl again and goes out. I don't need that, because I knew that if he did win a Super Bowl as a Denver Bronco, that his legacy slightly as an Indianapolis Colt would be affected. It would be slightly tarnished a little bit, in my opinion. And I think we're starting to see some of that narrative sort of come up today with Broncos fans saying like, oh, he won as many Super Bowls as, he did with the Colts, and oh, he still lives in Colorado now, so he's a Bronco, not a Colt.
Broncos fans, come on. Y'all don't actually believe that. Come on now.
Okay, we got a statue out front, guys. Come on. Some of those narratives definitely creeped in a bit, and so I cheered for him definitely at times in Denver, but I was pretty freaking hurt. I'll be honest. I was pretty freaking hurt. It's like seeing your ex, just like do a complete glow up and, be flaunting it. And you're just like, I don't even want to see it. I don't even want to watch it.
Thank you to Colts fans for reliving this memory with me and Logan. Thanks to Tracy Porter. May they never erase your name from history. And thank you to you specifically, for watching this video. Appreciate you. And for our end credit scene, I asked Logan if Peyton Manning was standing right in front of him right now, what would he say?
Honestly, man, I really would. I would really tell him, thank you first and foremost so much for everything he did. Through all the ups and downs, through all the moments of the tough losses and the heartbreak, and the tears. Like I said, some of the only times I've cried in sports were when Peyton Manning was in his prime with Indy. So I would just tell him thank you. Thank you for everything, and thank you for changing the city of Indianapolis and really making the state of Indiana a football state, right? And really changing the trajectory of so many people's lives. So first and foremost, I'd tell him thank you. And I would probably ask him, I'd say, what did you see on that route to Reggie Wayne? Like, genuinely, was that on you? Was that on Reggie? Like, what happened there? Because that wasn't like you, Peyton. That wasn't like you.